fighting.
Gemma is home. Braden is home, possibly sleeping. Cash is 100% running around. There's a chance you might hear him bark for some sort of attention at any given time.
Who are you talking about?
My dog and my wife and my daughter.
I was going to say dog and
knows
family.
My whole family. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I'm not sure which name goes with what, and there's a piece of me that doesn't want to know. I want to just,
just form your own story, man. That's what most people do with me anyway. So just do that and have fun with it. Yeah.
I've hit record at this point. People are watching now, and I've already screwed up because I should have hit record 5 minutes ago. We would have learned all kinds of things about the man that a lot of people just know as DJ HEK, about where you grew up and all that. So we're just going to have to go back and hit it all again here because, by the way, Grant Zellner, Jennifer Allen, PDGA Radio, thought we'd have some fun and get somebody on who I have made his acquaintance more recently probably than Jen over the course of the last 2.5 years, especially in places like Rock Hill, South Carolina at USDGC, where you've done a little work here and there. And if anything, you've just been part of the show. So DJ HEK, welcome to PDGA Radio. Thanks so much for joining us.
Dude, what is good? Hello, Jen. Hello, Grant. I really appreciate y'all having me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll be honest with you, bro. We have absolutely no outline for this episode. We have no predetermined questions. We have nothing on a notes. If I'm glancing over here at any point during the show, it's because I may be looking up something you said, not looking up something I want to say, because we just said, let's get him and let's have a little bit of fun. And let's assume maybe that at least some of our listeners and our viewers either don't know who you are at all, or if they do know who you are, they know as much as they can see right now. They know the goatee and the headphones, and that's about it. So I can't think of a better place to start than the beginning. Maybe you don't want to reveal this, but I bet you're cool with it. We all know you as DJ HEK, but who are you really?
Yeah, lots of people. There's always lots of voices in my head. I got to figure out which one I'm going to use today. You're talking about like what the timeline or what's going to happen. That's me every day. That's me waking up on a Monday.
Let's start with what name is on your driver's license, man.
Well, which has to be, I'm good to go now, but I think this coming May, it's when I got to do the renew and that sort of thing. But on there, it says Brian Short. Brian Short.
Okay. Yeah. So for legal purposes, Brian Short, right on. Okay. So that's fair enough. But everyone knows DJ HEK. I can't decide where to start, which is start with where you got the name and the persona, or should we go even further than that and go back to what we missed before I hit record because I'm a dunce and talk about where you got just life started in general. Maybe we should start there. Life in general, where did you grow up? Was disc golf a part of your life then? Let's just go back to the backwoods of West Virginia and Kentucky.
Yeah, I think that we started kind of, when you come into these meetings like this, you always kind of want to do a sound check and kind of video check and make sure that everything's glued together. And you got to talking about a friend and there was a word missing that fit the description of what we were talking about. And I said, holler. And you had mentioned Kentucky. Holler. Yeah, you had mentioned Kentucky and West Virginia. I was born in West Virginia. I was raised in Kentucky. And then I finished high school in Ohio. And then back to Kentucky, and then to Florida, and then to Myrtle Beach, and then to Ohio, and got married, and then back to Myrtle Beach, and then now I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So Winston-Salem, that's what's on the hat there. Yeah. So
to bring people up to speed, a holler, spelled I think HOLLER, if I'm not mistaken. We're not talking about shouting at somebody across the field. We're talking about sort of a valley. Sort of a backwoods kind of rustic valley that exists deep in the mountains of Kentucky and West Virginia, where there are maybe small villages or collections of just a couple of houses, often people that are related sometimes, but there's usually only one way in and one way out. It's a one-way sort of gulch that goes up however far it goes.
Yeah.
And because of that, people are very happily, I might add, I think in most cases, they're very sort of isolated. They're sort of off the grid to a certain degree. They get to drive vehicles that aren't technically street legal and get to have a lot of fun doing that. And that's where you grew up.
Yeah. So
it explains a lot, man.
That's where it is. I have a good story. I don't know that everybody has this, but I'm a preacher's kid. So my mom and dad, I was raised in a mom and dad, a traditional family home. We went to church on Sundays, and my dad, Dr. Keith Short, is a superhuman. I'm very blessed, very blessed. And so growing up in Kentucky, we had nothing, because my dad was growing and learning and going to school and working on his master's degree and trying to be a minister to these people in the holler, if you will. So that's how I was raised. I was raised around those people, if you will, right? Like that's how I was raised. And then to Somerset, Kentucky, 40 miles away, into the big city of Somerset, Kentucky, we moved to. And I'm there until my freshman year of high school. Finish that up, and then we go to near Steubenville, Ohio, Wintersville, Ohio, is where I finished high school. So I got to see a lot of that area of the Mideast and Southeast, and a lot of great humans. And then sports was huge. That's what we did. We played sports all day long until Dad yelled or whistled, and it was time to eat. You know what I mean? Like that's what we did. So we were in the holler, we were in the cut, we were on our bicycles, we were just doing the thing. And in Kentucky, you play basketball. So like if you don't, they'll kick you out of the state. Yeah. So basketball by default, it's what we did, but all sports. And when I moved to Ohio doesn't play basketball like they do in Kentucky. So when I get up there and start dunking on people and doing different things, they're like, whoa, we pass 42 times and then we shoot from 6 feet away. I'm like, why? And they're like, well, it's the system. And I was like, golly. Well, that's what I've heard my whole life. I'm an old now, and I've approached everything, including disc golf. And every time someone doesn't like something, they go, oh, it's the system. It's the system. So it's very interesting. But I've never really listened to the system. That's what kind of got me to probably to where I'm at now. So,
Jennifer, when did you first encounter Heck Yeah? Do you even remember?
I mean, probably Vegas.
Yeah.
How long ago?
Yeah.
At least 4 or 5 years ago.
I think that's right on. You're murdering the numbers. I would be horrible at this.
We're just throwing them out. It's got to be semi-close.
It's right there. Yeah.
But the years fly by so fast, so it could be 6, But.
Well, okay, so clearly, I mean, DJ is in your name. So there's a love. You talked about your upbringing. Somewhere in there, there's a love of music, and not just music necessarily in general, but a particular sort of genre, if you will. There's a love of music.
Yeah.
And the reason why we all know you is a love of disc golf. Which came first, the chicken or the egg there? And then how did they blend?
Yeah. So music was always a thing. But I don't know that I knew music was a thing. I remember just listening for a certain part of a song so I could hit record on my jam box. Again, I'm an old, so some people are going to know what that means. Some people are going to have no clue. And so then everybody makes mixtapes, right? Like through the high school days. And if you got into CDs, it was the same thing. It's still called a mixtape, but it was just you'd burn it on a CD and give it to your homie or, maybe someone you're trying to get a date with or whatever. And so, but I was never really worried about the whole dang song. You know what I mean? And a lot of the songs I would hear, I was like, well, why don't they take this part, move it over to this part? And again, we're talking 80s. You know what I mean? So
right,
hip hop's just getting formed and all. I don't even know who a Rick Rubin is like I do now. But then as music is changing and different things, I just remember waiting for the countdown, whatever time your local radio station. Let's start with that. You're listening to radio.
Your local radio station. Yeah.
Who does? So, and just catching snippets. Didn't think anything about it until college. I'd got out of college and went to Myrtle Beach to work for the summer, and just kind of befriended this long-haired, hippie-looking guy that was really good at basketball. So The courts of Myrtle Beach is where you wanted to be if you were a college age kid and you had skills, because you could just show off. That's what disc golf's about, right? Trying to show off your best shot every time.
If you're Jen.
Definitely. That's why we were able to meet, is because of this game. And now having her as a friend to me and my family is phenomenal. Like, yeah, she's a great disc golfer, but she's an awesome mom, an awesome human, all these other things. So that's what I like to say about it. But back to the disc golf thing, it was never there. It was never there. Even, I think, I graduated high school in 91. Still, I don't know what a disc golf is, but I know what Frisbee is for sure. I went to the beach a lot. The guy that I was hooping with, he said, dude, you need to come up to the club tonight. And I was like, I don't really do clubs, man. It's not kind of my thing. You know, I ain't got nothing against it, but I don't club. He's like, well, you know, and I was like, well, I don't like country music either. He goes, well, I don't play country music. And I was like, all right, well, all right, I'll come check it out. And he was a DJ at a club in Myrtle Beach. And if I say the name, a lot of you parents or people my age, you're going to probably know it. But it's Xanadu. And then as you laugh, I literally saw turntables for the first time in my life. I'd never seen them ever in my entire life. I'd seen them on MTV. Again, referral to how old I am as an old. But
back when they played music on MTV, right? Oh my gosh, you're really old then.
And you watch Spring Break. You know what I mean?
Yep,
like if
right.
you couldn't get away, you would watch that, kind of live your life through that. So then he said, well, do you know what? Yeah, I know what they are. Have you ever done this? No, I have no idea. So I just remember he let me do this thing, and he was like, you've never done this? And I was like, nah, man, this is awesome though. He goes, no, wait, you've never done this, really? I said, no, I have no clue what I'm doing. He goes, would you like a job? So he either lied to me and really hyped me up, or he just really needed to hire a beat DJ so he could go pee and take a break every now and again. Yeah, I still to this day don't know what it was, but it worked. And I got good fast, man, and it was hilarious, is what it was, because that's not how I was raised. First of all, you know what I mean? So I was in a whole world that I was just like, this is wild. This is what you see on movies. This is what you see. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I can't remember exactly what year. Maybe that was 2 summers worth of kind of doing that. And then it was time for my parents to move, as Dad had grown his education and was able to choose another church to be with. And that's where I met my wife, is in Ohio, in that transition. And so then I kind of stopped DJing because I knew that's not, I don't know. Let's see. That wasn't it. That wasn't what I was made for. Mm-hmm. Maybe I was. Sure. I don't know. But that's when I was introduced to it. So tinkered a little bit and then laid it down. Got married. Moved to Myrtle Beach, not for DJing, but as a dream. I wanted to become a golf pro, because in between that time,
all right,
of getting married, in the small town where I met my wife, you could only play basketball, which I was good at basketball anyway, but golf I was trash at. So like literally the first time I hit a golf ball, I hit a house. 100%.
But you liked it enough to want to go from zero to golf pro?
I'd never had that feeling. I'd never sucked that bad that quick in front of humans, and it got immediate laughter of like literally it's falling on your face in front of whoever you're with. It was awesome. That feeling was phenomenal. And I was like, dude, I have to learn this game. I can hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball any direction I want, left-handed or right-handed. The ball is not moving. What's the problem here, kid? It's crazy.
So you pursue golf.
Yeah. I taught myself how to golf. And I convinced my wife, I don't know how, hey, let's move to Myrtle Beach. I'm going to get my teaching card, my PDGA teaching card. Mm-hmm. And right. I'm just going to teach people how to play this game. If I can teach, I'm an idiot. I know nothing. And I taught me how to do this. Guarantee you I can teach you how to at least get rolling and make you a little better than what you are right now. Guarantee you that, because I'm an idiot. And I did it to myself. Well, it worked. So off
I was
we
gonna
go.
say, I'll add in his wife as a sweetheart, so that could have had something to do with it.
100%.
I mean, you got lucky on that one.
100%. 100%. We will be 25 years this coming August.
Yeah.
So, and she hasn't murdered me. So, like, put that down, write that down. You know what I mean? That's got to speak for something. So
now you're in Myrtle Beach. You've been a basketball player. Now you're becoming a golfer. You want to become a PGA professional so that you can teach, not a touring professional, but a teaching professional for traditional golf. You're in Myrtle Beach. You're married now, but we're still on the wrong side of the holler. I still can't figure out the bridge to get from there to the guy I know now. What
made it out.
happened?
I made it out of the holler. I made it out. I went into my illegal truck and got in, you know what I mean? Drove illegally out of there. And I'm out of there.
How do you get from, polo shirt wearing, straight laced, white pants and shoes, PGA golf professional? How do you get from that to disc golf loving DJ, white goatee down to the logo on your shirt, hair down to your I mean, how do you get from there to here? You got to bridge the gap for me.
I was a sports agent for 13 years.
Okay. So golf.
You're just going to keep adding them in. You're never going to
golf
put the puzzle
became
together,
sports
Grant.
agent.
Too many pieces.
Okay, so golf in Myrtle Beach becomes sports agent.
Yeah. So while
right.
So
it's all who you meet on the golf course. That's all it has to do with.
Sure, I buy that.
You would think, but this one goes back to the basketball court again. This goes back to the basketball court. So we're in Myrtle Beach. In order to get to Myrtle Beach, I got to have a job, right?
Right, sure.
So none of this time have we talked about a job other than like working in Myrtle Beach. And I worked at like the state park. In the summers, I would work at the state park. And then I would try to save my cash, which I was horrible at. And then I'd go back I went to Kentucky Christian College and I went to Florida Christian College. There's the gap there. And I pursued youth ministry and elementary education. And to this day, it's what I do.
You never would have guessed that, would you?
Yeah. To this day, it's what I do. Yeah.
Youth ministry, elementary education.
Yeah.
But you just said sports agent. Wait,
100%.
We're still not.
I love this. This will all.
Where are we?
Somewhere down in the Florida Keys.
Yeah, we're out of Florida. Yeah, we're out of Florida. Myrtle is where we are now because I want to legally be able to say, hey, I'm a PGA pro. I can teach you how to
we got that.
Golf ball. Right? You're going to pay me. I'm going to make a living. I don't need a lot. I only need what I need. So then in the middle of doing this, I befriend a guy who is finishing college at Coastal, and he has done an internship in sports marketing, and he wants to become a sports agent. And so then I'm married with a wife. Braden's not in the picture yet, but he's a single guy in Myrtle. So he could come hang out at the crib if he wanted. We'd go hoop or whatever. Just enjoying working hard and doing whatever. So I had a fax machine at the house. Again, I'm an old.
How old are you? But all of us in this podcast are like, fax machine. Sure. We all know.
Yeah. We all had fax.
That's what
I know.
I did. I understand.
Bong, bong.
We would email it now. Even from the holler, we would email it at this point. So then he had a contract for a baseball player or something come through. And I looked at it and I was like, hey, man, I think you ought to do this and this and this. And he goes, have you ever done this? And I was like, I went through spring training in '94 with the Astros, but that was a strike year. So nobody really cared. You were there a couple days and you're out. But it sure does make sense. This is a pitcher. You should do this, this, and this. You sure you've never done that? I've never done that, man. It just makes sense to me. It works for both sides. And in the long term, if he does well, everybody's happy. That started the relationship. And 13 years later, I sold, I guess is the right word, the remaining contracts I had with the firm known as Alliance Sports Management at the time, which is now known as Shark Sports Management. Damon from Shark Tank owns the firm that I was with for all those years. So shout out Joe Denda, Glenn Schwartzman, homies in there. So I learned so much from being a sports agent that being part of the arena football TV deals, to running camps, to getting sued by the NFL, and then that worked out, did not get sued. Like, that's when I knew I was doing well, is when I get a cease and desist letter. You know what I mean? And then one thing led to another, and the strike year happened in the NFL.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So 2011 or whatever it is. And I was like, all right, this, it's time. It's time. So then I got rid of my remaining contracts. Jake McQuaid from Ohio State, long snapper, was my last player that I signed to the NFL. And then we did kickers, punters, long snappers. So they're in the league way longer than running backs and wide receivers and all that. So worked hard, learned how to treat people well, learned how to write $1 million deals, learned how to negotiate, all by just having to go to work. You know what I mean? And by osmosis, that's not what I thought I would do. But when they're like, hey, we need to go to the NFL Combine, because once a year we got to go to a meeting. I'm like, I have to go to a meeting with you're okay, twist my arm. Let's go to a meeting with the NFL. Let's go talk to Raj, which he wasn't the commissioner at that time. But that's what I did. And then 2011, strike year happened. I think it's 2011, somewhere right there. And that's right about when I started finding disc golf.
All right. Hey, we're yeah.
Have no clue what it is. But I no clue. And that's why we did it. So that it was a summer. Maybe it was there. Maybe it was 11 or 12. And then my wife, of course, myself, my brother and his wife, we went to eat breakfast or brunch. And we were like, let's go do something that we've never done. Now, we're all college athletes. So, like, it's not like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff we've done. We're sports people. We hadn't done Frisbee golf, though.
Okay.
And I don't even know what got on that. So we were like, let's do that. Let's house these waffles and go figure it out. So we went to Play It Again Sports, bought some old discs, which we learned disc and Frisbee. That's kind of difference, right? We don't know. All right, cool. Where should we go? And he's like, you got to go to this, park, Yaqua County Park, which is a very old park here in North Carolina. I don't know where it is in the basis of courses in America, but Horizons Park here in North Carolina arguably is one of the first in the East Coast area. I think them and Wilmington argue who did it first in North Carolina. So even learning all of that, I didn't know any of that was to come, if you will. We were just going to do something we hadn't done before. So we were all trash. College athletes. Trash.
And you don't like that.
It's harder than you think.
It's 100% harder than you think.
But if you're if you're the kind of guy that hit a golf ball into a house the first time you swung a club and decided at that moment you wanted to be a PGA teaching pro, then if you went out to a disc golf course and a former college athlete with all kinds of, hand-eye coordination and you struggled that first time, then you must have had your sights on a world championship by the end of the day.
No, I knew I wanted. I knew. Here's what I knew. I knew that for the second time in my life, I was trash. And I was like, this is like, I'm not like a masochist or anything like that by any stretch of imagination, but I enjoy the challenge of how can I not be this like doesn't make sense to me. My brother hated it. My brother's 2-time national title, played overseas basketball, hated it. He's like, I'm out. His wife, I'm out. My wife, like Jen said, is a superhuman. She's like, oh, if you love it, I love it. You know what I mean? So I just kind of played every now and again. I went back like the next week by myself and befriended a couple old heads. And fortunately, they were the old heads that like run the area, run the leagues. Sure. Run the thing. So I befriend them. And these are longtime OGs in disc golf and just the growth of it. I don't know what an Innova is. I don't know what a rock is. I don't know what any kind of Frisbee is other than what they gave me and what I have from Play It Again Sports. But I was like, this is kind of cool. The community's cool. Like, I remember first or second league I went to, Like I played with a lawyer and a doctor and some guy that's probably homeless and me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'm back in Kentucky, man. We in the holler. We good. So it just the vastness of that. You don't get that on the golf course. Like you know, they're not letting me in. They're not letting the homeless guy in. So they're definitely letting the lawyer and the doctor in, though, even if they look like us. But they're not letting me and the homeless guy in. You know what I mean? So like right off the bat, I could tell it was a different community. Well, I remember the job thing. Remember?
Right. Yeah. You
I don't
quit
have a job. Yeah.
Right.
I don't have a job. I negotiated, this buyout and different things. And then shortly after is when Damon from Shark Tank comes in and buys Alliance Sports and turns it into Shark Sports Management. So I did not get any proceeds from that. I wasn't part of any of that. But one of my great friends, like I said, Joe Denda's still there to this day, and Glenn Schwartzman, and they're killing it. They're killing it. I barely missed the boat on there, but actually I didn't. So DJing came back. But that's not what I had planned. I was going to go into consulting because I knew I could do good team building. I knew I could do good negotiations. Like I'd learned that over the last 13 years of my life. Started a family and went from being dirt poor to just poor. No longer dirt poor, but just poor. You know what I mean? There's like levels to that. But the work and just different things. So then with that comes different responsibilities because like now you have 2 cans of peas instead of 1 can of peas. Well, now you got 3 cans of peas and you're like, I don't really need 3 cans of peas. You know what I mean? So like, all right, let's get this can of peas over here. They could use that. And you just kind of do that. And I was like, all right, that's what I'll do. God was like, all right, that sounds good, but we're going to sprinkle DJ back into your life. And I was like, nah, I'm old. Got a kid, married. I don't think that's what an old man with a kid does is DJ. And so in my world, you can make your plans. God laughs at them, and then you hang tight, and we ride. And so I DJ'd a party for some friends moving away. Just within my community. And the guy said, hey, we're going to do it at my house. Didn't you say you DJ'd back in the day? And I was like, yeah, man, I got stuff. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, it's like playing a guitar to me. I don't do it out for show or anything for years. Go to his house, do the thing. And they're like, that you do all that? What? I thought you were just going to hit play. I was like, yeah. It's like, man, this is fun to me. And they're like, we're going to get you a gig. And I'm like, no, I'm not. This is a bunch of just, normal working humans, 9 to 5, executive working humans, and celebrating this other humans that are moving. Well, the next thing I know, they've got this lineup at the local hole in the wall pub for me to DJ. And they're like, and they're going to pay you $75. And I was like, I'll do this one thing for y'all because y'all are cool. I don't even know where the place is. I'll go check it out. So I get in there and the owner goes, hey man, we don't even have DJs here. So I just want you to know this is not going to be a full-time thing. I was like, dude, I understand. I don't even know what I'm doing here, to be honest with you. They said they had this all set up. If it's a miscommunication, it's cool. I can literally just call it a day. He goes, no, here's your money. And just enjoy the night. Don't mess up. I was like, cool.
Don't mess up. Yeah.
Whatever that means. You're at a bar. I mean, people punch each other in the face all the time at the bar, and that's not messing up. So, like, where are our boundaries here? You know what I mean? Like, what does this mean?
Hard to mess it up.
Don't get punched or don't punch. I don't know where we're going here. So, I don't know. Maybe there's an hour left in the night, and the same owner comes up. He goes, hey, man, listen, how about next week? Next week? Like, how about $200 next week? I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, let's do it again next week, man. And I was like, I don't know. Let's just talk when we're done. Because remember, this is the same guy who told me they don't have DJs.
Sure.
Right? So,
and you're not sure you are a DJ again yet.
I don't even have a name.
Right?
I
Yeah.
ain't got a name. I ain't got a placard. I ain't got a nothing.
DJ Short doesn't have the same ring.
I have no
as
idea.
DJ.
Not in the plans, dude. Not in the plans. I've got an elementary daughter. You know what I mean? A wife I'm still trying not to get murdered by. You know what I mean? And,
Yep.
and like try that. Try going home to your significant other. You're going, hey, I'm an old human, but I'm going to start DJing. Like, and let that, see if you live, first of all, see if you get to live in the house that you're, so that's the thing. That's the thing I was talking about. I'm just holding on for the ride, man. So I had to have a DJ name. And my buddy who had got me the gig, I said, well, I need to go get a couple updated cables, at least, and different things if this is a thing. And on the way to Greensboro, North Carolina, I said, I've got my name. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I've got it. I said, the whole time, I saw it the other night, when people, they don't know what the song is, but they feel it. And then, oh, heck yeah, I know this song. I know, yeah, oh yeah, this is this. And I was like, heck yeah, DJ Heck yeah. You can't be mad when you say, you can't be mad when you say my name. Like, even if you hate my guts and you're like, why is this long-haired hippie even wasting our time? DJ Heck yeah. It's still, you can't say it without smiling. It's hilarious. So that's where the name came from. And then the spelling, there's when my marketing brain took over and shifted the letters. So it's HEK, YEH. So there's box letters on the end, and how it looks and how it's stackable and stupid stuff like that. And DJ Heck yeah started, man. And I'm 12 years into DJ Heck yeah now.
And
in real life, yeah.
In real life, yeah. In DJ Heck yeah years, that's like, based on the story you've just told,
2 years.
it's like a century. This episode of PDGA Radio brought to you in part by Pured Disc Golf, the disc golf app. With me today, Caleb Rancourt, the CEO and founder of Pured. Caleb, in a nutshell, exactly what is this new disc golf app?
Hey, Grant, appreciate you having me on. So Pured is a new disc golf app, and it's designed to help existing players grow their disc golf community and players that are new to the sport to find community a little bit easier. So the main sections of our app are the connect, play, and improve areas, where you can connect with nearby disc golfers, exchange direct messages using in-app chat. Play section, you can post upcoming rounds or find upcoming rounds to join. And the improve section is curated disc golf content all in one place, filterable by skill level and topic area, just to make it as easy as possible to access the type of content that fits your game.
Caleb, where did the idea for this app come from?
Yeah, so I've been working on the idea for about 16 months. The app has been in development since June. And it really came from me not having friends on the disc golf course. And I would go out to the putting basket at weird times, like 9:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, look at my watch and say, all right, 20 minutes putting. If someone shows up, I'll see if they want to play. And it took about 3 months, but I met my now 2 best disc golf friends. And when I was thinking about something that I might be able to bring to the disc golf community that could be a career opportunity for me, what came to mind was how, for me, it was not hard, but not easy, because I was proficient at disc golf, reasonably outgoing. So I was wondering, how could I make it less terrifying for someone who's brand new to get to the course and actually have someone to play with?
It sounds like this app is a lot about the connecting of people. What makes it different from other social apps like, say, Facebook?
Yeah, so I think Pure does a lot of things that disc golfers are kind of making Facebook do for us. What's special is it's all disc golf. So it's a place that we have that's digital just for us. And I think a big theme of Pure that differentiates it is boundaries. So we can, connect in Pure, exchange messages, meet up on the course, and you don't necessarily need to know who my loved ones are and see pictures of my kids or my pets. Disc golf can be disc golf. And if we choose to be cell phone buddies in the future or be Facebook friends in the future, then we can make that decision.
What can somebody expect from their first experience when they download Pure onto their smartphone?
Yeah, so a really slick animation of a disc flying into the basket. That's how you'll be welcomed. Right now, as we get more users on board, over time, there'll be more and more rounds available near you. But there are users on the app. You can find people nearby you who might be able to play on a Thursday afternoon or a Tuesday morning. And you can connect and exchange messages. So coordinating rounds for Flex Start weeklies, Flex Start monthlies, is a great place to begin. And the content is pretty excellent from industry leaders and manufacturers. And again, all in one place, easy to access.
What's the cost of the app and what features are coming down the pike?
Yeah, so right now the app is free. All the different features that I just described will continue to be free forever. This summer, we're hoping to release some exciting club integrations and maybe have opportunities to coordinate coaching sessions with skilled players who have been vetted. And some of those features will be premium, like pay to get access to. But out of the gate, you get access for free to all those other features.
How can our viewers and listeners learn more about Pure Disc Golf?
Yeah, so the best ways to do that would be going to my website. It's www.purediscgolf.com, all one word, or you can follow along on Instagram, Pure Disc Golf. And yeah, that's the best way to get more info. And if you download the app and have feedback, ideas, there's a couple ways you can get in touch with me on my website through forums, or you can DM me on Instagram. I'd love to take your ideas and see if we can incorporate them into future releases.
That's pureddiscgolf.com, available at your app store as well. Check it out. Caleb, thanks for your support of the PDGA and PDGA Radio.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me on, Grant.
Now, but like you said, the DJing comes back in your life at about the same time you start playing disc golf.
Yeah.
So then do they start to sort of blend and sort of overlap? Because most of us know you as a DJ that shows up at disc golf events and is well known. So you're connected, with the people that are running events, and you're helping put on what is becoming a bigger and bigger show, it seems, every year. I mean, just take USDGC, for example. If I go, I've only been to 3 of those since I joined the PDGA on staff. And the first year it was big. Don't get me wrong. It's always been a big event. But the second year, the things around the event, the amenities for spectators and players alike, frankly, were a little bit bigger. And then last year they took another quantum leap. And so here you are meshed into this. How did that meshing begin to happen? Was it just you couldn't help but blend your passions, getting to know people, and then they start asking you to play music at events? Was it that simple?
Maybe I felt like that's how it went down, but that's not how it went down. Like people probably wonder why, and I wonder why. But as DJ HEK, got bigger, I started learning how to do remixes, and I started playing with bigger acts, and then I went on tour, and then we played all over the country. Just again, learning so much because I know I'm not Bert Kreischer, I'm not Jelly Roll, I'm none of those things. I get it. However, there is a few hours in which you're leading humans' lives and their happiness, right? Mm-hmm. They don't care who I am. At the end, maybe they found out who I am, right? Or maybe they found out who I am and they're like, all right, well, he definitely plays this kind of music. Let's go do that. Well, it's the before, during, and after. That's the hard part. Like getting on stage, that's the easy part. But like keeping it all together, not messing up. And that's a whole book of things, right? Mm-hmm. And don't do people dirty. Like there's just, you know what I mean? Because like you want to be good at it. If I built houses for a living, I would want to be good at it. If I was a mechanic, I would want to be your all's mechanic. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I look at it. But DJ HEK, that's what happened before I knew it. I was touring. And again, being the marketing and the business, we owned the tour. We didn't have a middle person. We owned it all. We got a cease and desist letter. People wanted to sue us. I called the attorney and I said, yo, you're trying to sue us. We're going to drop the W. So we'll be Glow Paint Party Tour. And he's like, oh, all right. Well, there's nothing we can do about that. I was like, I know that. I just need you to know that. And that was that. We sold the company to that same company. They tried to sue us. And then my wife, my beautiful wife, says, all right, we're buying a house. I was like, all right, can I put disc golf baskets in the backyard? Because I'm going to have some free time. And when I was home from tour, I would go play. with those old heads, and there's Cash. So then,
What up, Cash?
yeah, you can come get him. Yeah, you can. Literally, my wife is crawling on the floor because she thinks
No!
No, hey.
she's all right. Here's Cash. I don't know in the video world who can and can't, but in
Those that are viewing see Cash there. He's all got his bandana on. What is he? He looks like he's got a little chihuahua or something in him, maybe?
We think chihuahua, kangaroo, deer. Lots of things, man. Listen, last night, I don't know exactly what time, but he literally karate kicked me with his back legs like 7 times in the middle of my sleep. Pop, 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 pop.
He's having a dream.
I also was having a dream.
And you were in Australia.
Crack, 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 crack. Yeah, right in there. So back to disc golf. I knew I was going to have some free time. And I knew that I was trash at this game. And I knew that I could at least practice. And I knew that if I threw a football at half of these humans that were beating me, they couldn't catch it. I knew if I threw a basketball, just a simple bounce back, they probably couldn't catch it. At that time, I think now disc golf, where we live now, is a superhuman athletic sport. Back then, the challenge of it is what drew me in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care about losing $5, $10, or $20. I didn't care about that, right? What I cared about is, why is this guy beating me? How is this guy beating me? And I fell in love with the sport, the game. And it was just league. I didn't know what tournaments were. I didn't know what athletes were. I knew nothing. But I knew the sport was dope. And so then I did a little research, and I found Innova or Innova, whatever it is. I have no idea.
Technically both.
I have no idea. But I knew I had one in my bag, 1 or 2 in my bag that had that name on it. So I was like, well, let's start here. Let's see what these cats are all about.
Let me just call up Dave.
100%, but it wasn't Dave because, again, I don't even know what Dave is. I have no clue.
But you go from here to here, so I figured you might have, like, your first phone call was probably just...
My first phone call, Zeb Campbell. That's where it started. And literally what happened is I called the front desk, and I knew it. Yeah, the young lady there answered, Miss Diane, and she said, hello, how you? I said, listen, I have the stupidest thing in the world to offer you, but I want to come and just play a party for you, just DJ a party. And she goes, well, that sounds good. How about I let you talk to someone else? Because we actually have someone here that, kind of takes care of music things like that. And I was like, they have music things? Are you kidding me? Let's go. So then I get put on hold. And then Miss Diane comes back on the phone. She goes, hey, here's Zeb's email. So if you could email Zeb and I was like, cool. I don't know what a Zeb is, but let's email Zeb. So I email Zeb. And I was like, hey, I'd love to just DJ a party for you. I don't want paid. I don't want anything. I'm just a weird grown man that's got some free time. And this, you know what I mean? Let me just give back. You know what I mean? And so Zeb says, all right, let's talk whatever it was, right? Tomorrow or whatever it was. Let's talk tomorrow, 11 o'clock. That's whatever the time was. So I call. Miss Diane answers. Diane, hey, this is Brian Short, DJ HEK. Yeah, I'm to call Zeb Campbell today. She goes, okay, yeah, hey, hold on. So then Zeb picks up and hello, this is Zeb. Hey, Zeb, Brian Short, DJ HEK. Yeah, how are you? Hey, man, click. And I was like, well, they could have told me no, like on the first phone call or even on a reply email would have been fine. I've heard 90 bazillion no's in my life. I got hung up on John Elway. I've got hung up on $10 million deals. Like, I can handle a no. What's going on here? Technology. That's what had happened. So Zeb called me back, got back on the line. He's like, hey, man, how you doing? Sorry about that. Sorry to that. I was like, it's cool, man. No problem. I know this is weird. But I just wanted to offer some services, man. I know that you guys have a factory. You got something going on there. Maybe I can come just DJ for your people. The sport's cool. It got me through this portion of life, and it'd be cool to do. So that led to a couple more phone calls. And it ended with, it was when the USAMs came through Charlotte. And again, I'm not going to remember the year on that. Probably 98, 99, 2000. Well, I don't know what number that was. 2018 maybe.
I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look it up to be honest.
18 or 19, let's call it. And
okay.
People that are going to fact check me all day just know that we'll get the numbers wrong.
You're close.
Yeah.
You're close.
And so then the agreement was I would DJ at the, it's known as the Shack, right?
Yep.
Which is now the Media House, if you will. So I was just going to DJ on the porch while these amateurs came through and played Winthrop. I don't know what a Winthrop is. I'm just, do you know what I mean? Dude, I'm a guy with free time on his hands just trying to bring a party. That's all I'm doing. And the agreement was, if at any time it just doesn't work, we're going to pull the plug and still be friends.
Sure.
No money, no nothing, just, hey, I was like, I'm in. Yeah, at any time. So I'm doing the thing, playing music, and it was kind of cool. And there's this guy down there, like, saying their names, and Andy Green is who it was. But he's just saying their names.
It was who was it?
Andy Green.
Andy Green.
Andy Green, who just finished his 25th year. Just 25 years of saying humans' names from all over the world at a sport that I knew nothing about. And now I'm DJing his son's wedding. Are you kidding me? Like, that's what it's about.
That's family.
Yeah. But I just kept thinking to myself, I was like, golly, he needs a microphone. He's now batting from West Virginia, whatever it is he's saying, but I can hear it because I'm right there, but nobody else can hear it. So I'd run to the truck, get a speaker, and get a wireless mic, put it together, and I walk over to him and just turn it on, man. It's all you got to do, and you can just hold it right here, and it'll be kind of cool. See, yeah, it's not really what I don't know. And I was like, it's cool. It's just there. If you want it, turn it on. And then, the day's still going, and I see two bearded guys. Two beards, and they look official. So I was like, you know what? What if those two beards are ready to just come up here and just pull the plug? What if this is it? You know what I mean? Because we're a couple hours into it at this point, and it's been a cool vibe. I don't know what kind of vibe they've ever had. I've never been there. First time ever on Winthrop. I don't know what anything's going on. And I was like, all right, well, let's be a little assertive here. So I walked down to the beards. And I said, hey, guys, I'm Brian. I'm DJ HEK, yeah. Hey, how are you? I'm Jonathan Poole. Hey, how are you? I'm Jeff Panis. And I was like, hey, guys, you want me to just go ahead and pull the plug now? Because if that's what you guys are discussing, I can I'm not very fast, but I'll get up there as fast as I can. And I'll pull the plug. Those are great humans that I just met. Did not know it. And they were like, no, actually, we were just talking about how cool this is. And I was like, well, I just gave your boy up there a microphone. They're like, there's no way he's turning that microphone on. And I was like, that's what he said. But I just told him, you just turn it on the bottom. Matter of fact, Hank from West Virginia, Steve Smith and Will Barnes. And Jonathan Poole and Jeff Panis, the beards who I'd met for the first time, they were like, can you do this? They say the words USDGC. I have no idea what a USDGC
That's just letters
is.
to you.
No clue, dude.
Yeah, that's alphabet soup.
Yeah. You know what I said?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's do it.
Hey, it's the first time I've guessed what he would do and been right in the course of the last 45 minutes. Jen, mark it down. I'm right once.
Yeah. And then in the middle of that, a human comes up to me and he goes, hey, if you can just drop a beat, let me borrow that mic and I'll rap.
Can I guess that one? Can I guess that person?
Do it.
When I'm done with the story, yes. And yes.
Oh, don't say. Okay.
So I was like, things are going good at this point. You know what I mean? Like the beards are cool. That guy down there saying people's names are cool. This guy I'm kind of meeting throughout the day. And are we good? We good? We're good?
Yep, we're good.
So then I dropped a beat. he rapped over said beat.
Yep, I guessed it right.
And
You already
that
know.
was
Go ahead then. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's Joe Rotan.
Joe Rotan.
Joe
Yeah.
Rotan. There we go.
So
He drops a pretty good beat.
super talented. Blew me away. It was hilarious. I knew no matter what, even if I never did this USDG, whatever it was, this guy's cool. Those guys are cool. That guy's cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
So then that's where it started. That's literally where it started. So then USDGC, I believe 20 is the very first one I was at.
So.
I think because I believe the logo had like the X's, I believe. And
Yep.
like it was very cool. But like just being there for that, I remember when those AMs came through, there was a practice time for the pros to be there because when the AMs came through, you want the AMs to meet the pros. And I remember when they had the Mando tree on 18, that's not there anymore. But I remember shortly, like Joe has literally finished his rap. You know what I mean? We're just kind of chilling and doing whatever, and music's still going. And then I hear, I've been there all day at this point, couple hours, 2-3 hours. So I've seen people throw from the 18th tee. I've seen people tee off on hole one, but that's all I've seen. And I hear a violent smack. And I mean violent. I mean like, what was that? And a Frisbee had hit that Mando sign on the tree. First of all, people weren't even getting it up anywhere near that tree. Right off the bat, I know that.
Sure.
It was so loud. And I remember going to Joe, I go, dude, what? Somebody just hit that sign. What was that? There's nobody, there's people down there on the tee. And he goes, oh, that's Paul. I go, what's a Paul?
What's a
yeah. He's like, oh, that's Paul Macbeth. And I was just like, that was violent, man. That was a lot of energy there. And so then, you know, I meet all these wizards, and then I meet a superhuman that this is literally what he's known for, is playing disc golf. And, you know, I was like, that guy's so, he's not, you know what I mean? I don't want to say he's small because he's not small, but he's not 6'4" for the love ball. And I was like, that's pretty dang cool. You know what I mean? I'm 6'1", and even if I was 5 feet away from that tree as a college athlete, first of all, I'd still miss the sign from 5 feet. Let's go with that. But on the 8th or 9th time when I could hit that sign, it would not even come close to that sound. So I learned very quickly what an athlete Paul was. And I got to meet Paul that day, and that was cool. So you want to talk about getting dropped into disc golf. That's what it was for me. It wasn't a 10 or 20 year, like my dad played, or, you know what I mean? None of those things. It was immediate baptism. Immediate. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen the video on Twitter or whatever, where a Catholic priest is just like dunking the baby violently into the thing? That's not what we do, by the way, but that's what I felt like. That was me just getting dunked into disc golf. And so then again, to me, it's a God thing. So like, I had no control of this. I'd never planned this. This is not, you know what I mean? It's just happening. It's happening. So then, did the USDGC thing. Joe had mentioned they have a spot on the team for people like me. I was just like, dude, I don't know what this even means. USDGC is over. We're just playing around. And again, I'm trash. Ellen Wibboom is playing with us, and Joe Rotan and Jockey is playing, the Oklahoma boy. Like,
Jason Jockey.
Really, they're really good. These guys really, I'm clearly the worst in the group. Clearly. And yet Joe comes up to me and goes, hey, man, we kind of have a spot for people like you on the team.
Our special category.
Golly, I didn't know what to think, y'all. I had no clue what to think, because I was like, I've been around a lot of people, but never have I been around a Joe Rotan until that week. So I was like, well, all right, I'm not going to be a pro at this game, Joe. He starts dying laughing immediately right there, but I'm serious. I'm not going to be a pro because I don't know where we're going with any of this. and he's he had, you know, brought up the celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, what even is the team? What does that mean? And Jeff Jaqua was there, he and his wife, and that's what led to Vegas. Mm-hmm. So again, I know nothing about nothing. I'm just here trying to bring the party.
You got lucky. You just got in with the right peeps. But there's a lot of great people in this sport, and that's why I think all of us love it so much. It's, yes, you get addicted to the sport, but I think you get addicted to the people just as much as the sport. Like
100%.
And you just got some good ones right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
and it's not luck either. It's preparation meets opportunity. It's you had a very disparate. I mean, I can identify with this a little bit. You had just this kind of eclectic, weird toolbox that came from a couple of different experiences that only semi-related, but you put yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, sometimes the third or fourth hand you shake is a pretty important hand. And you don't even know that, which makes you come across sometimes all the better to that person because they know you're not trying to get something from them or not trying to falsely impress them or whatever. And the next thing you know, they say, well, I like your talent. I think it could help this thing I'm working on in ways that no one's thought of before. Let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? We'll pull the plug. And you're willing to say, sure, I'll take that risk. And so you do.
And the risk. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there you go.
And then you took it up all the way, and he's still pushing it. He runs events. He does anything and everything. So like you knocked it out of the park for sure. We were very lucky
we were the lucky ones. Yes.
Welcome him to our disc golf family.
Yeah.
Same. And so then again, this is not in the cards. Like learning what a Paul is. I called USDGC for the first 2 or 3 weeks when I was telling my wife and people here what I was going to go back and do. I called it Worlds because I didn't know what it was. I knew it was a pretty big thing. It was the biggest thing out there. As I continue to do more research, and then politely people are like, "Hey, idiot! It's USDGC,
right?
But it's still a major.
It's still the biggest thing."
Yeah, that's when I know you're my friend. Is when you lead with, "Hey, idiot!" Like, because if people don't want to hurt my feelings, lean in and
write
go,
that down.
"Hey, idiot!" Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, that's how my friends address me, so I'm okay with you saying that. But so learning that, and then it was shortly within that year that it just kept growing and working with cool humans. And I'd done the NFL. I'd done the Arena League. I'd done Major League Baseball. I'd done NBA. I'd done Dan Henderson in the NBA. At that time, was one of the biggest MMA fighters out there. We had him in our group. So I've done some really big things. And to see how this sport was, it was just kind of like, I felt like there's some things they could do different. Maybe they could. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't even know who the people are. You know what I mean? But I still feel like there couldn't be some things. One thing led to another. I got to know JP, Jonathan Poole, a wizard, a superhuman wizard who would never agree to those words in private or public, but he is. Dave. Shaking Dave's hand is the equivalent to shaking an astronaut's hand, which I've done multiple times. Phenomenal. The Sam. And just the whole team that's out there. Chris Brophy was part of how I got the phone call to welcome to the team. I cried.
Yes.
I did. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It was huge. I had no clue what it meant. It was, and for the celebrity ambassador team, I know Gannon doesn't want to release what his numbers were, but I'll tell you exactly what my numbers are as celebrity ambassador team. 0 Dolores, man. 0. And I signed that contract as fast as I could. Yeah. You know what I mean? As fast as I could. And so it's cool. It's cool to work with all these people. They found out that I had this 13 years of sports marketing background. So anything I could do to help, if JP texts or called, I'm like, I'm in. If Sarah calls, I'm in. Zeb calls, I'm in. Like, I just did that for, I think, going on now year 6. And so meeting all these humans in here on the Innova side is where I was brought in. But then I got to meet the rest of the world. So talking to Bob and them at Discraft and talking to the other folks at all of these other communities and manufacturers was very, very cool. And if I wanted to be like, all right, I'm going to take my talents to here, I have no idea whether I could or couldn't. I don't care. I just know that where I'm at now is awesome. And the ability to put on these tournaments and do the things that I was taught. In DJing, it's what got me there. In sports marketing, it's what got me there. Never did I enter any of these things and go, all right, here's what we're going to do. I entered in the back room and I was like, yo, let me take that note down. Let me take that note down. So when it is time to put your head on the line and JP says, hey, man, will this work? This is on you. And then I've got to go back and report to so-and-so. That's not a fun and games time because that's lots of money to put on these events. You know what I mean? And whether it's a local C tier or the biggest event in the world in the USDGC, check the dang boxes. Just check the dang boxes and give people a great time. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to fail.
Well, I think Brian, they definitely have started to do that for sure.
I don't know if we're ever going to land this plane. I don't even know if it's a plane at this point. It might be a blimp. It's a hot air balloon, some kind of futuristic helicopter. I don't know what ride we're on right now. I don't think it's going to come to the ground. So we might as well just leave it aloft. What's the plan for 2024? Selfishly, when am I going to see you next? When's Jen going to see you next? What do you have in store, at least that you can tell us about? For what you're going to be doing in 2024 at say disc golf events, majors, whatever. Let us know what's going on.
Absolutely. So literally my life has kind of been on repeat for the last 4 years. I have literally built my schedule around disc golf. So people that want me to do their large corporate events or their daughter's wedding or whatever, it all depends on me calling my wife going, hey, what's happening this time? Oh, well, that's college disc golf. All right, cool. Well, I'm definitely doing college disc golf. So then my year is kind of planned out that way. Where last year we did the Blue Ridge Open right as we did college disc golf. Mm-hmm. So where last year that took up a lot of our time, this year didn't have that. Vegas for us didn't happen. I've been able to go to Vegas as an athlete, just as a player. I pay just like the regular human. Wait by the keyboard and try to hit the time that's allotted to get in there. So I get to play the fun and games. I don't get to wait in line for a lot. I don't get to do the ticket thing a lot, but that's one thing that I think is kind of cool in disc golf because it's anticipatory and you got to want it. You know what I mean? Even just to get in. So college disc golf is probably the biggest thing on
so you'll be
what's
college,
coming up.
You'll be at College Nationals there in Rock Hill. All right.
Yeah, I got the text. Yeah, I got the text from the homie Chad Sullivan. Chad Sullivan is now, hopefully, as everybody understands, is in the squad now. Very good friend of mine. So I'm happy that he's there. I'm happy for the squad. He's as good as an athletic signing. So Chad Sullivan's great for disc golf, just like these other humans that we've talked about. A new leader there at PDGA with Doug, getting to know Doug over the last few years. Same thing. Like these are really cool people that have a passion for doing things that we want to do. So it's easy for me to say yes to do that. So college disc golf is coming up. I've got a couple C tiers here in the area that I do. I don't run as many tournaments here in the area because we've blossomed that now. We've been able to take some of the youngs, kind of show them how to do this and hopefully they like it, but it's what's happening. So the area here is growing. The grow the sport thing is a thing. So that's cool, which helps me do less, if that makes sense. When COVID hit, was the big change for me because I hadn't ran tournaments up until that point. I was still doing contracts. I was on like a 52 event contract with Wake Forest when COVID hit. And that's DJing like the football games, the basketball games, and you know what I mean, everything that goes along with that. So when I got the call from Wake that they're like, hey, man, we just do not know what's going to happen this year, so we're just going to push pause on this contract. Well, that was a lot of money. I was like, all right, just like everything else, then I know the deal here. I'm not in control. I get it. What am I going to do? What are we going to do here? So by default, started to run tournaments. And then I was like, dude, what if I rented out the baseball stadium? I rent out that baseball stadium. That'd be dope. It can't tell us no on that. So I helped write like the health laws or guidelines of what you could or couldn't do out here. And like an idiot helping write any kind of law like this to begin with, like, let's just stop there. But nonetheless, here we go. So we were able to legally have these events. And then so my wife, she's ready to go. My daughter's ready to go. So literally, I just kind of show up at these events, I feel like, now, because my wife and daughter kind of takes them over and checks you in and registers you and makes sure you get your player's gift pack and all that stuff. And so it's a blast. So HEK putter parties are a thing where I go and rent out baseball stadiums. That's you remember the contract I signed, Zero Dolores? Like I pay for all this. Like Innova doesn't send a check for me to go rent out baseball. So that's not how this works. So like it's fun, man. I don't know that I'm going to rent out 5 or 6 stadiums this year because I've got different goals and aspirations. I'll probably do 2 or 3 HEK putter parties. I've now became part of 2 disc golf courses here in the area that I run with my friends. They're both private and attached to churches, Bethel Disc Golf and The Crossing. So every Monday and every Tuesday since I've been asked to be in a leadership position of those, we've had a weekly event. So we play golf. Yeah.
Just to be clear, you're still in South Carolina or North Carolina?
North Carolina.
Where, when you say your area, Winston-Salem. Okay, just to go back to that to make sure people know when you say in my area, I want to make sure people know what that means. Okay, Winston-Salem.
Yeah, in the North Carolina area. And then Winston's home for me. And then Myrtle Beach would be a second home for me. And that's the attachment to the Myrtle Beach Disc Golf Club. Shout out to those homies. Roy, our president, Chad Sullivan, all the homies, the Teddy Peddler and Myrtle. So the ability to go here and there and work with, again, more superhumans. The event, the Myrtle Beach Open, is the end of our year. And Chad Sullivan and that crew is why the Myrtle Beach Open happens. I just get to be there, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, you want some chicken biscuits? You want some coffee? Play some music? What do you need me? You know what I mean? So then it's just being part of all this stuff. And if I do get a paycheck, it's because I lugged 42 speakers and 5 miles of, cord. Somebody had to get paid to play the music through the thing. But even that's not a normal, like none of those invoices are normal corporate invoices. Those are always going to be a friends and family discount. So it's disc golf's a blast, man. I love it. I'm too old to compete on a level where I wish I could have known the game at a younger age, but I would have probably been even more trash then because I feel like I'm a little smarter now than what I was. But like that's why I wanted to meet Jen. I mean, you're talking about a freak athlete, and so to become friends with them is a whole new world. To see them on your TV or on your computer or whatever, I get that, dude. I get it. Like I've been with Michael Jordan. I've been with all. I get it. But like, they're still humans. They're all humans. I was able to help a couple disc golf athletes over the last few years. I'm not going to say their names. They can say it if they want to. And I helped them in their contract negotiations. Didn't charge them a dime. You agents that are out there charging these disc golf athletes, quit it. I didn't charge them a dime because they're not making money. And this sport is tough. You want to get in your car and you want to travel America and you want to try to throw a Frisbee the same every time and not get wigged out because if you don't get a paycheck, you might not eat for 2 days. Like, unreal, man. You athletes are crazy. And when I had a chance to meet Jen Allen and watch her as an athlete, get to know her as a friend, superhuman, like just as much as any of the other big athletes on the big networks that we get to see. I know those cats too. I've done their contracts. Like, I get it. But the disc golf world's different. You're not going to go to an NBA game and have someone fall down the stairs and nothing happened. Like, probably they're going to take a video, right? At a disc golf event, if somebody falls down the stairs, everybody just stops what they're doing and they just immediately go to help mode. I remember trying to tell my dad a little bit of the disc golf community. Dr. Keith Short, he's a counselor, super, super intelligent human, and is even as a retired helper of humans, if you will. But I was just like, Dad, I want you to see this disc golf community. Like, they're different, man. They don't agree on things. They don't agree on politics. They don't agree on this. They don't agree on that. But daggone it, there's a lot of things they do agree on. And I was like, I wish you could see it in action. So we're in Myrtle Beach. I'd rent out the baseball stadium there. Big inflatable, like where you walk through the stadium. Well, I'd convince them, let's take it out on the field. We'll tee off under it. You know what I mean? And at this point, they know not to tell me no, because we were going to figure out how to do it. The inflatable becomes detached. This thing's probably 25 feet tall. Big old horseshoe looking thing. It become attached. I go, Dad, watch this. And immediately everybody just stopped and ran to this inflatable. I guarantee you 95% of those humans had probably never touched an inflatable, nor caught one mid-flight, nor had to restrap it down. You know what I mean? But that disc golf community, with beer in hand, still was able to go over there and attach that thing and kind of get it like nothing happened. And no workers had to freak out. I knew enough not to freak out because we're in the disc golf community. So it was cool. That was a stupid example of how it was. And I was like, that's what I was trying to tell you, Dad. That's the people.
But it is hard to put into words. And so, I mean, it was a perfect example.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, so Brian, we'll see you at College Nationals in early April.
Yes.
I assume we'll see you at USDGC at the end, the first, second weekend of October. In between there, other than the C tiers and some of your other things, are there any bigger events that maybe a listener or viewer might happen to be at as a spectator where they'll see you, or will it just be local events for you in the interim?
Well, I never know. I never know. I know that sounds
That's
stupid.
a perfect answer, honestly.
Are you coming to Vegas with the date changed?
So I'm not going to be able to this year because May 18th is our B tier event that we run here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This will be the second year we do it. The Teddy Peddler, Chris Chapman, wonderful human, great friend. He has a tour series, and we've got it from Myrtle Beach to other portions. So I begged him to bring it up here last year, and it was good enough that he's going to continue that. So that date was already set. So if you want a really cool B tier, the Neatman Creek Mountain View Campout on May 18th.
Say that again. Say it again.
Yeah, 100%. The Neatman Creek Mountain View Campout.
Okay.
Bring your banjo.
Bring your banjo.
Disc golf in it.
The name of that one goes all across the front of the shirt and wraps around under the arm and across part of the back too. That's phenomenal. A long one.
It's one of the top 40 courses in the world, I believe, according to UDisc. Neatman Creek. Very good friends of mine. Yeah, they have a private course right here in the area, so we'll have a B tier there in May. Maybe a couple pop-up HEK putter parties. A lot of that depends on the availability of the stadiums. They know how much I'm willing to write a check for them too. They know what they get out of it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So a couple of those will be slated. Myrtle Beach Open in November is where it all ends. USDGC, I'm pretty sure that I'm coming back there. I haven't got the official invite, but we'll see how that goes. There'll be there's our cliffhanger.
I better see you there, man.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I think that's all. I don't bug them. I really don't. I normally just kind of text Sully or JP, and I'm like, hey, man, what do you need? You know what I mean? Like all the numbers and pricing, that went out the road, out the door years ago. You know, what do you need? And then just kind of what can we do to make the dreams come true? And there's so many humans I didn't say their names, and that's just because, again, I'm an idiot. And I'm, you know what I mean? I'm just not going to remember them all. But, like, it's a blast. I look forward to the year. I got my membership renewed. I had to take the stupid test to answer 25 questions. I'm an idiot. You guys are going to ask me 25 questions.
They're tricky.
Questions.
Yeah. Got to get rules certified.
I did it.
Good job.
So I'm good to go there. So I'm excited about the year. But college disc golf or the college nationals, which is almost a Worlds now. Heads up. We do have some universities and whatnot that'll travel across the pond. So this college nationals
I'll be there.
Turning into College Worlds. Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Well, I'm going to be there for my first time this year. I'll be at that event. Jen, I don't know if you're going to be at that event. You might see me there.
Yeah.
So episode of PDGA Radio may come to you from College Nationals as well as from some other events. Jump back on the mic. Yeah, if we see you there, we'll have you jump on with us maybe for part of that episode. Like I said, Brian, we're not going to land this plane. We're just going to leave it up there, just circling around the area. At some point here
in April.
At some point here, I'm just going to have to hit stop on the recording. And, maybe we'll just pick it up down the road. I have a feeling with you that when that happens, it's as though the conversation never stopped. It's just, we just pick it right back up where we left off. So I think that's what we're going to have to do, because I don't know if we can expect people to listen for much more than an hour and 10 minutes without at least taking a break. So,
dude, if they've
are you cool with that? Are you okay with that?
First of all, shout out to anyone still listening. So we'll go ahead and start there. Because I'm pretty confident as soon as you tuned in, they're like, "Oh, the homeless guy. We're gonna
this guy
get it out." Yeah, this. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Everything that's going on, Jen. You're an awesome human. It's Grant. Your voice and the way that you talk about disc golf is one of my favorite ones out there. And
thank you.
It's a blast. It's a blast to be a tiny part of anything and everything that any of these humans are stupid enough to allow me to be part of.
We appreciate you. I'm so glad you got on here just to tell your story. I expected inspiration. I didn't expect it to be an hour and 10 minutes of it, but that's what it was. It's just a lot of inspiration and a lot of stick-to-itiveness, a lot of, put your talent out there, whatever it is, and then see what develops. You might find a way to make money and make a living. You might find a way to make friends. You might find a way to meet your partner. You might find a lot of benefits out of it. You never know what they're going to be, but usually something good happens. And you're a testament to that. You found a lot of really cool things just because you were willing to put your talent out there. And that's, don't know that there's much more of an inspirational message that we can expect to deliver on a podcast like this one, other than the fact that I love it when disc golf's part of the story. So, and it is, and it continues to be. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Facts.
All right, brother. Here's what I'm going to do. This is the clunkiest ending maybe yet to an episode of PDGA Radio. I'm just going to hit the stop button that's down here on my screen. I'm just going to hit it, and some music's going to play. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it won't even play. Maybe I'll ask you to send me some music. We'll play some DJ HEK. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to hit stop. You guys go with that?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
We'll see you next time.